Shuffle the deck and spread out the cards. Try to find the meaning. Pentacles, cups, swords, wands, and a hermit. What am I saying? This is pretty bad tarot. Oh my god. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Bad Tarot. I am your host, Emily Milling. I don't know how to read tarot cards. Not very well, anyway. I try to read for my mom sometimes, and my stepdad, and he doesn't really care for my tarot readings anymore. But today I'm going to read for Wendy Way, and it's going to be so fun. Wendy, who the heck are you? How did you even get into this stream? God!
Hello, I'm Wendy. I am a photographer and social media manager at Pexels, which is a free stock photo platform. And I guess, how did I get on here? I've been working with Emily for the last couple of months on my podcast, Overexposed. And when I saw on her profile that she was doing this tarot reading, I was just like, I guess I'll just vote. And I had really no idea that I would be on, but honestly, I've always wanted to go to like a psychic or some sort of reading, so I'm really excited for this.
I have really bad news for you. This is not that kind of reading, but I'll try really hard. Oh my god. Yeah, psychics are super fun. I've had a couple of tarot readings, and like, I've done some for myself, and they're like pretty accurate, but like, I think I'm in a really sad and angry place right now, so I just keep getting these really sad and angry cards. And, like, it makes it a little bit less fun, but that's okay. Why don't we do, like, a nice happy reading for you? So, like, you've never actually been to, like, an actual psychic or anything?
No, I always see them on the street, and I'm like, do I really want to spend $20 and do this? And I've been so tempted a couple of times, but I've never actually done it. And I know a few friends who are like, oh, I'm going to learn tarot, but, like, none of them ever really took it seriously or kind of really figured it out, so
I've been to a few psychics. The one that I went to that was really, really shitty was a $20 one on the street. So maybe like find an actual psychic instead of spending $20 on the street psychic that doesn't know anything. Like she literally said to me like, you will get the job you want. And I'm like, I'm not trying to get a job. I've got multiple jobs. I don't really know what's happening. Anyway, it wasn't great. And then there was a man, and he was staring at me, and he mouths at me as he walks past. He's like, "You're crazy." And then, so even though she was a total hack, I just kind of like followed him after the reading. I didn't follow him. That sounds creepy. But I was walking along the street much faster than he was, and I came up behind him at the corner, and I just stared at him. I didn't say anything because I was like, uh-oh, I got to this point. What am I going to say that's really clever? I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. And I just kept staring at him, and he's staring back, and then the light changed, and I was like, I'm going.
Yeah, I wonder with like the qualification, I guess you don't really need a qualification if you're just on the street doing like readings, but I feel like I never really took it serious enough where it's like, I'm going to go look for someone and like make an actual appointment. It's always like, oh, in this moment, do I want to spend $20 and see what they say? But.
Oh my god. Well, you know what? If you really want to like check it out, this is how I got into it. On YouTube, you can get tarot readings for like your sign, your actual sign.
I did have a phase where I'd go on YouTube and they would have these like tarot readings where it's like what does your future look like or something, and like the ones where you have to pick a timestamp where they have like the 6 cards and they would read like every single one of them, but then depending on the one, let's say you pick 3, there's a timestamp for it.
Interesting.
I think that's like the only readings I've had. There was a phase where I would go down rabbit holes of timestamp card readings, but
I mean, like that's gonna be me right after we're done recording. Thank you very much. But it's so fun. It's just so fun. And it's like, a different perspective. And when you have nobody else to ask because you like literally have burned through all of your friends about the exact same situation, it's nice to just ask the internet and a deck of cards to solve your life's problems. So let's talk about your question. What are we solving a life problem today? Are we trying to predict the future for you today? What are we going to do?
So I've been actually thinking about this like all day because I guess over quarantine, I started having this like new hobby of roller skating, and it's becoming pretty big now. And I want to say I've started becoming like this micro influencer with my skating account, but that being said, micro influencer as in like 500 followers and just other random skating accounts. But I wanted to know, will this micro influencing roller skating career actually be anything, or is it just a phase?
Ooh, okay. Will this micro influencing skater profile be a thing, or is it just a phase? Interesting. Okay, tell me when to cut the deck, and then I'll start cutting the deck, and then I'll start interpreting the cards to the best of my ability.
So I'm like nervous because I feel like if it's something bad, then I'll be really devastated. No, I'm kidding. I'll be fine, but no pressure.
No pressure at all. Okay, great. I don't feel totally afraid now either. This isn't scary. Okay. Okay. Well, whenever you're ready, you let me know.
Okay. Now.
Oh, God. All right. We're cutting the deck. We're cutting it in 3. We're putting it back together in a different way. Okay. Past, present, future. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So in your past, we've got the 6 of Pentacles, and it's generosity, and it's reversed, and there's some hands, and they're like cupping some pentacles, which are actually discs on this deck of cards. And then in your present, we have the Ace of Swords, which is clarity. And it's just a sword going straight up the middle of the card. It's very powerful sword. And then in your future, we've got the 2 of Wands, and that's called planning. It says so on the card. That's how I know that. If it wasn't written there, I would not know. Okay, cool. So I guess what's happening so far, and we're going to go deeper into what each one, quote unquote, means, because that's how you do tarot readings according to YouTube. If we're looking at this just like generally, I feel like you're super clear that you want to do it, and you just have to plan for it. And I don't know what this means.
That seems accurate enough.
I don't know what reverse generosity means at all in respect to that. But like, if I flip over some more cards, maybe we'll find out. Maybe this was you being like where's my finger go? Overly generous? Or maybe this is like you just not being generous enough with all of your skating abilities, possibly. Okay, so we've got here, what's that? What does that say?
Oh, a lot more. Is that more swords?
Yeah, 8 of Swords, and it says isolation. This is in your past. Remember.
This seems...
Why did I say it like that? Okay, and then we've got destitution, also in your past.
Oh, wow.
It's okay. It was in the past. And then we've got the 2 of Swords.
More swords.
Oh, so many swords. So this is sort of like you weren't giving people enough of your skating abilities, I think, maybe. And like that made you feel like, I feel empty in my soul. I think this is like actually supposed to be related to financial destitution, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this means you were getting enough like happiness out of posting your skating things. And I think it's because you were like hiding, you were withholding with this isolation card. You're like, I don't think anyone should see my stuff because it's like, I don't know if it's good enough, but I'm here to tell you it's great. I have not seen it. I feel like maybe I've seen 1 or 2 posts, but I really don't see a lot on Instagram because of the algorithm. So like, maybe it's that, or maybe this is, and then maybe you come to a decision and you're like, I gotta get out in a pool and I gotta go roller skating because this woman, she's like skinny dipping in a massive pool. It's not an ocean. I've decided this is a pool, and she's got her swords and she's like, I'm ready to fight a shark. Maybe that's your decision, and maybe the shark is your internal battle demon.
Well, that seems pretty accurate, I think. I've never really shared anything just because I feel like I wanted to keep it a separate identity, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to make this random account where no one's going to really know who I am. I'm not going to cross-post it with anything else because I'm like, oh, this is a new beginning. I'm not going to get photography people who follow my photography account to be like, what the heck is she doing? I followed her for photography, and why is she just posting skating stuff?
Oh, the duality, the thing that we all must face as micro-influencers. I don't know, man. You know what? Like, you gotta do you. Like, who the fuck cares what other people think at the end of the day? Are you trying to grow these accounts because you want a bajillion followers? Or are you trying to grow them because you want to share your skating skills with the world? I don't know. You don't have to answer that at all, actually. That was more
rhetorical question.
Let's look at this present one. We have the Ace of Swords, the clarity card. And maybe that's like you coming here today, talking to me, trying to figure out what on earth any of this means. I don't know if you're going to leave here with clarity. But okay. Oh, okay. So now you've got the upside down, what is it? The Seven of Wands. And it says Valor on the card. And so this is like there's a woman standing in the middle of a whole bunch of wands. And it's like they're all pointing towards her. And then she's pointing away from it. So I don't really know what that means. I guess I'll pull another card.
I feel like there's a common theme of a lot of swords and pointy things. I don't know if that... Yeah. a lot of pointy things.
So far. That's true. You've got 2 pentacle cards, and then the rest are pointy things.
Yeah. So, that seems... Okay. I don't know if that's like violent sounding, but...
Hey, it's however you interpret it, right? Like, it doesn't... like. It could be whatever you want. That's the fun thing about it. Okay, so here we have, this is the Four of Swords. It says rest on it. And like, I don't know why I didn't turn on a light before we started this, and the sun has now gone down, and I can't see a goddamn thing, and my glasses are no longer working, so I keep having to look away to figure out what I'm looking at. So I guess you just have to take a break. Because you've been so valiantly hiding your sharing of your things. Maybe you need to rest from not sharing things. And then, what is this?
More swords.
Oh, she's an independent woman. She is the Queen of Swords, and she's got a really cool leg tattoo, and she's got a purple dress and magenta hair, and it's very exciting. And, you know, I think maybe she's just saying, like, hey, you can... If you put your sword in the ground right here, right now, and say, I'm a skater, you can be a skater on a macro-influencer level. Possibly. I don't know. Well, I mean, that's your present. What do you think? Is that accurate about your present? You don't have to answer that at all, because I know it's probably not.
Well, now I feel like I need a leg tattoo, because I feel like I've been thinking about that for a while, and this was my sign.
Anything you take away from this is, like, it just should be that you gotta get this massive leg tattoo.
Then I'll be a real skater.
Yes. Is that like a thing? Is that what skaters do? They get leg tattoos?
I feel like they look a lot more, like, badass with, like, leg tattoos, and you're, like, jumping all over the place and stuff.
But, okay, tell me the truth. What do you think about calf tattoos?
I am not really a fan.
I fucking hate them.
Don't, like, I literally today I was on an escalator, and I was, like, trying to read someone's, like, tattoo behind them, and I feel like I'd be really self-conscious if I had something, like, on the back of my leg, and everywhere I go, I feel like people are, like, looking at the back of my legs.
Yeah.
Unless that's, like, where you want to draw attention to, but
it's always dudes. It's always white dudes, and it's always, like, hockey-related. You know what I mean? I don't know. What was the one you saw today? You look so pensive. You're like, what is it?
It was definitely a white dude. I don't know if he played hockey, but...
yeah, you could tell by the calves if they play hockey. Are they strong or are they wibbly wobbly?
Or maybe that's the way that they want to show off that part of their calves? Body part.
I don't know. You know what? I think the thing is for me is that no matter what, if you have like only muscles in your calves or if you have no muscles in your calves, they always they go like blah, 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 because that's just how that part of the body moves. And then it's just so obvious when you're looking at the tattoo, and that's all I see. It's just like a leg wiggling around, and I'm like, I don't feel good about any of this.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's where your eyes draw attention to. So unless they want people to look at their calves, I personally don't think that I would highlight that, but I don't know, to each their own.
I guess so. You know what might be kind of cool, though, is, like, if you get the outline of your calf muscles on your calf.
So when you, like, flex, then it's, like, contouring. Like, I remember in, like, 2016 when all the girls would use, like, a lot of bronzer to contour their face. It's, like, I don't know, I guess you could do that for your legs if...
You could.
That's something you really want to highlight.
Yeah, well, like, they were also, like, getting permanent lipstick tattooed on. I worked with an intern, and like her whole purpose that summer was to save money to get lipstick tattooed on her mouth. But anyway, let's look at your future. I don't know what it holds at all. Okay, so we have this lady, and she says,
ooh, more upside down.
It was the Queen of Wands. It's vibrancy, and it's upside down. It's reversed. And then we have the upside down death card. Don't worry.
Oh, that's scary.
It's not scary at all. Deception, 7 of Swords, reversed.
More swords. I feel like the common theme now is swords and upside down.
Yeah. Upside down swords. You know what? Honestly, oh my god. There's people outside and they're like doing window washing and I'm so distracted. Like in the last episode I was recording, like right at the end, like a dude just like came out of the fucking sky and I'm like, what is happening? Anyway, okay, so you're supposed to make a plan here. That's what this card says, this 2 of Wands, because you have to be vibrant. And currently, like if you don't have a plan for this Instagram account, you're just gonna, you're putting yourself in a hole and you're not gonna feel happy about it. And maybe you're not gonna get this positive new thing happening that you want. That's what this death card is all about, possibly. I feel like this is probably the more like me trying reading I have done so far in this whole podcast of 4 episodes I've recorded now. And then this deception card, it actually, because it's upside down, means you're just like tricking yourself. You're tricking yourself and you're being a little sly little fox and you're like holding back a little sword and you're like, I'm going to take this sword and I'm going to fight anybody who says that I'm going to be a macro influencer. I'm going to stay micro for the rest of my life because I don't want anyone to know about anything. I want to isolate myself forever. So like basically I think what it's saying is like, if you want this, you just got to make a plan to make it happen. Otherwise, this is what's going to happen. Boom, done. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that I guess makes sense. Now I feel like I'm going to have to Google what the symbolism of swords and upside down means, because I feel like there might be a deeper meaning to that also. But I guess it's very optimistic, I feel. I
don't know. I like to read cards like optimistically also because this is a comedy podcast. You know, if we were looking at this and we were like, wow, this looks really upsetting.
Death.
I don't know. Like you could see good things in everything, even in this destitution thing. I really think this overall is just like, you just got to stop holding yourself back and you got to like make it if you want your skating thing to be a thing, you got to make it a thing. It's up to you.
Yeah, that's good advice, I would say. I kind of kept it as, I feel like, a separate identity where it's like, oh, this is my thing. I can be whatever I want without being judged. But I guess this is telling me, whatever, who cares? Just kind of put it out there.
Exactly. That's also me telling you that because I think you're really cool and also is really cool. So like, yeah. Also, when we get to the plugs portion, you're going to have to plug the whole account and like tell people to go follow it. That's going to be really exciting. But before we get there, I got to know, did this wild ride of a reading make your life better or worse? Will you get a calf tattoo also?
I don't think I will get a calf tattoo. That thigh I think that's on her thigh. That looks kind of cool, but I don't think I can make it that big. But overall, I think I can't. Yeah, I feel.
I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel optimistic about the skating account. I think just like having another person, even if it's just you just telling me that I should do it, because I've kind of just been posting as my little separate identity account. So yeah, it gives me more confidence to just kind of go do it and not kind of like live like this Hannah Montana life.
Ooh, and that's totally like this deception card. Like you're like, I've never seen Hannah Montana. I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm thinking about that. What does she do in that? Does she deceive people?
Well, it's her alter ego. So I don't know. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, because I was just talking to my sister about this. Now that I think about it, I don't know how old was I when I watched this? Like 8 or 9-year-olds feel like this is like possible because she's literally living this superstar life, but also like just when she puts on this blonde wig, but then when she takes it off, she's just Miley. And somehow she is still able to live this double life, which I don't know how, but I guess it was believable for 8 or 9-year-olds. So
I think it's believable for a lot of people. There is a massive superhero industry out there. So
True.
everybody likes to have like a different identity. But you know, like if you don't want to share it with other people and like tell people that it's you, maybe you don't have to do that. Maybe you can be like Batman. Although like I don't know. I feel like they're all like really sad stories behind not sharing who you are. So maybe like you should share who you are and just like tell people, because like it's just going to make the world a better place when they get to know who you are more. Perhaps.
Yeah, now I'm feeling like a superhero. That's a good analogy to make.
Yeah. Or super villain. I don't know. Either way. You do you. Just please don't blow me up. Okay? I don't know. So you think this made your life better?
I think so. It gave me more confidence, I think, being compared to a superhero, I think so. Yeah.
I like it. Great. Okay. Well, we've come to the part of the episode where it's time for you to tell everybody to follow your skating account.
My skating account is Wendy. This is like very original. Wendy_skater, which is SK8. The number 8 ER. Very original. I know. I like was trying to think of like in like roller derby they have like derby names that are like really clever and punny, but I didn't get to that point. I was like, I'm just gonna start this account. So now it's too late to go back. So I do like the little 8 in there though. I feel like I've living out like what I wanted to. If I was doing this in the 2000s, I feel like I'd be living that out. Definitely. And one time before Avril Lavigne put her music video out, I was wearing a tie at the mall because I was like that kind of kid. And then someone called me Avril, and I was like, wait, what? And then I saw the music video later, and I was like, oh no. I don't like her. Well, there's certain I know the 2000 last or like a few years ago it was like the 90s trends that are coming back, and now it's the 2000s trends. I do like the 90s trends, but the 2000s are a little bit questionable, especially things like the ties and the low-waisted jeans. That's something I can never go back to because I feel like I get nightmares of like in middle school where you have to literally like jump and hike your pants up before you like sit down on the floor.
Your pants? Like it's just your butt falls out, everything falls out, and frankly, you know, you're not as old as me yet, but like you will be one day, and you're just gonna be no, everything falls out.
Well, I'm a fan of the 90s high-waisted trend. I feel like that's more secure and keeps everything in, so I'd like to keep it like that and not get into the low-waisted stuff.
People with jeans that were like super high-waisted, like so hard in the 2000s when or maybe it was like even in the 90s. Must have been in the 90s, like 97. Like, do you remember when no, you're not old enough. Flares came out, and they were like a version of bell-bottoms that were like slightly smaller than bell-bottoms, and then bell-bottoms came back with a vengeance, but they were all super low-waisted, and then we made fun of everybody who had like high-waisted tapered jeans, which are now back in style. And for me, as a human, I'm so confused. I don't know what fashion is anymore, and so now I just dress in a paper bag.
Well, my new thing is, I guess, like everything comes back eventually, because I think I remember in middle school when people would start wearing skinny jeans, I was like, oh my gosh, I can never wear skinny jeans. I feel so self-conscious. And then now everyone's making fun of skinny jeans. So I feel like whatever it is, just like keep it and it'll come back in like 5 years. It'll just recycle itself.
I think I saw like something on social media about, it was probably on TikTok. It was something like, younger women saying like, ew, yeah, and wearing skinny jeans. And I was like, well, fuck, because that's all I own. I guess that's really showing my age. So I promptly went out and did not buy anything because the mall was closed. So whatever. Okay, so you plug in that, you plug in your Skater Boy account, and you plug in your other podcast, Overexposed, which is a great podcast. Tell us about that podcast.
Yeah, so Overexposed, on the other hand, is a podcast for if you're a photographer or creative, where I talk to other ordinary people doing extraordinary things in the creative industries, and I think that's a lot more inspiring than my little skating account, but...
I beg to differ. I think if you're doing it, it's inspiring, and I want to be a part of it. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, well, we'll put all the links. Do you have anything else you want to do? Anything else? Do you want to plug your hairdresser? Do you want to plug the basket on the shelf?
I actually just got a haircut, but it was just my mom's friend's basement, so.
Cool. Hey, that works. Haircuts are hard to come by.
I know. I feel like it's like one of the. I don't know. Like, there's that trend where it's like things that feel like they're illegal, but they're not. And I feel like just going to get, because like I was trying to book a hair appointment here, but like everything's booked out. So I felt like so like weird just going to someone's house getting a haircut, and I was like, why does this feel illegal? I guess it's like okay now. It's just like all booked up, but weird.
Super weird. Okay, before we wrap up the show. Do you have a yes or no question that you would like to ask that I can try to answer?
See, I prepared all day for that first question, so now I have to think of...
Now I'm putting you on the spot. And I know you hate when I put you on the spot.
Okay, I guess this one's pretty ambitious, but as a follow-up, will my skating account end up overtaking my photography?
Ooh, okay. The Emperor. I think it's yes. I think it's like if you give it the energy that you want to give it, then it's going to happen. I think this wolf guy is like cheering for you in a way, because he's like, yeah, woo.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I think that's what's happening. And I think something else about the Emperor is that it's like a masculine, like protector energy or something. Maybe you gotta just give yourself that masculine protector energy. We all have it in us. So just why don't you do it? And cheer yourself on. Oh my god. Okay, well that has been another episode of Pretty Friggin' Bad Tarot. I'm Emily Milling. What do I have to plug? What is this week that we are recording, that we are releasing? July 23rd. So this week I have a sketch coming out, and I'm pretty sure it's one where I made my mom be in it. If it's not this week, it's next week. Anyway, I won't say any more than that. But when I put my mom in a sketch, you know it's going to be good. That's it. Make sure you are following this podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever else you get your podcasts. Leave a rating and a review. And I keep trying to say subscribe, but it's not rate, review, subscribe. It's rate, review, follow, for fuck's sakes. And then also, I have a newsletter. You can sign up at emilymilling.com/newsletter. I think that's the URL. I'll put that in the show notes too. And I'd love to tell you all about my life in this, as well as my sketches, as well as other things that I do. Thanks so much for being here, Wendy.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Pretty Bad Tarot with me, your host, Emily Milling. If you want to hear new episodes every Friday, make sure you follow this podcast wherever you listen. And hey, I'd love it if you left a review. You can even ask me a yes or no question and I just might answer it on the show. This podcast is produced by The Ultimate Creative.